What's up, guys? Dan1098. So it's been a while since I've posted like an abstract thought of something I've been thinking about. So recently, I've been seeing a lot of hype about this simulation thing. Do we live in a simulation? And I've been seeing these different posts and of these smart dudes and all these different people asking the question, do we live in a simulation? So, what I think about a simulation is like a computer model, right? Made of to test a bridge or to test a car crash. That's what I think of. Or here recently, everybody's seen these iPad Pros or these iPad Visions that you can actually alter your reality and have these different screens pop up around you and change your complete workflow. Um, you know, that's a simulation as well. So, and then of course the Matrix. Everybody's always seen the Matrix. The Matrix is like, some great AI power has us, in some sort of human tanks, and they're siphoning the energy that we make because the Earth is dead. That's another simulation. And here's what I think honestly about whether we live in a simulation or not. So I think even in the Matrix possibility or the Matrix reality, that we have some sort of AI computer, and it's really making us, like completely, engrossed in a reality. I would think that if that is a possibility, you would have to have a super huge computer to do that, right? And so if you have that, the bandwidth and then also the memory needed would be gigantic, right? So I took I went on Google, of course, the Google, and looked up, how big is the internet? You know what I mean? And we can do that now. How big is the internet, right? Memory. And what we see is it's 175 zettabytes in 2022. That is equal to 1 trillion gigabytes. So you think that's a large number? Like, is it possible in the internet of what is possible? And then I instantly think, well, how big, is our hardware? If we are in a matrix and they're siphoning us off of electricity and stuff, like, how actually big is our hardware? So I looked it up, and it's like 2.5 petabytes, which is around 2.5 million gigabytes, right? Like your brain runs off of that 2.5 gigabytes. Well, if your computer savvy in your phone has less than 1,000 of them, and you have 2.5 million of them in your brain. The recall that the human brain is capable of is a lot more, than a computer instantly. So if we live in a simulation, right, back on the rate thing, it has to be completely high processing rate, right? It has to 100% completely be capable of some stuff that we can't see, right? So if that's the case, that we're living in some sort of like matrix thing, that's not the case. Right now, no, we're not living in a matrix simulation. Can you put the Apple Visions on and do some crazy things? Sure. Is it player one movie type stuff? Maybe. I'm not really sure, but we know it's not that. To think of making a computer these days that has half of petabytes that you have, your gigabytes in your brain, right? 2.5 million of them. To pay for that type of computing right now, you have to buy like this Intel thing that's at like 1.08 petabytes, which is half of your ability. You get what I'm saying? It's half of your ability, and it's $23,000. We're not in really trapping people in a simulation yet. You have your cell phone, you scroll through TikTok and whatever, you're halfway there. You're bionic already. You have your phone always around you. In an instant, you can look in your phone and have whatever information you want, good or bad, right? We have not hit that wavelength yet, so we're not in a matrix simulation, right? But to think in the sense of what would it take to really make, a 2.5 petabyte machine, and we're still, if you use the equation of everything gets like half, we're still 50 years away from that, right? We're still 50 years away from having that type of memory and stuff. So, but are we in a simulation? So if you think about reality and what you deal with, I mean, obviously we're on a Earth, right? Whether it be round or flat, whether whatever political party or whatever country you come from, the fact of the matter is in this dimension where we're at right now, we're on some sort of Earth, and we're these apes that are a lot smarter than everybody else, and we have thumbs. We're not smarter than an octopus or an orca. You tell me, you would not want to fist fight an orca with thumbs, would you? I know I wouldn't want to fist fight an orca with thumb. He would put you in some sort of, anyway, long story short, we're on this planet. It's for sure. You can look it up in the timeline. We're in 2024 right now. So if we're living in a simulation and it was possible that we're living in a simulation, right? You would have to make some sort of bioengineered creature, right? You would have to create something to process the amount of gigabytes. You can look in DNA and look up a tangent in that, how much information can be stored in DNA. You can look in DNA and look up a tangent in that, how much information can be stored in DNA. Biologically, inside of us, which is evidenced by our memory, is we're more capable than computers. So if you were going to try to make a simulation, right, it could not be at this point within a computer. It would have to be a pre-programmed ecological sphere or flat earth, but an ecosystem that feeds on one another. It would absolutely have to be, right, a biological computer, which is the meat sack. I'm the meat sack, right? It would have to be some sort of biological engineered computer that is autonomous and that you have to feed and you have to, waste and all that stuff. And you have to make all these components. And if you don't count just the humans being biological engineered, you have to just think about the ecosystem and how it works, the oxygen and the plants. This is something that is well beyond what we can fathom, and it's something that may be a simulation. I'm certain that I'm a human being. My name's Dan Juan, and I'm sitting here in 2024. My wife's behind me, and I'm living in America. Like, I'm certain of my reality, right? But it very well may be a simulation. We may be living in a simulation. So you think of what sort of creature could be up to making, right, a bunch of bioengineered creatures. It's some type of God thing, right? I mean, I don't think it's by accident. If you look very shortly into our history and stuff, you can argue about us being old Earth, millions of years ago, and you can argue about being old Earth, right? And we've just been here thousands of years. But if you look at the whole thing, it's been orchestrated. 100%, we are living here by not my well-being. I don't remember being born. Do you remember anything your parents were doing? No. But it can't be by accident, right? So I honestly believe we're living in a simulation set forth by a deity or a god. And in my opinion, it is the same God, Yahweh, right? Or if you speak Aramaic and you're Jesus, his name is Allah. It can be the same God as the Buddhists, or it can be the same God as it's a central interdimensional being, right? God is not tied by time or space. He functions in a reality that is not ourselves, right? So what I'm saying is, are we in a simulation? I think so. I think we're there because God put us here, and we're here to learn and to be in a trial point, right? We're here to experience life 70 plus years, right? If the government's up to it, you can't retire money until you're 70. But that's here in America. You know, everybody has something different. But for sure, we're here, right? Right? You're there, right? I'm here. It's a consciousness, it's reality, and it's simulated by a divine being, a God of some sort. Some sort of God created us, put us here, and we're here in a simulation until we transcend another dimension. 100%. That's it. We're in a simulation. Appreciate it.